Hi, this is Bill Prater. Welcome to Supercharging Business Success, where our mission is to provide you with timely, provocative, and actionable resources that inspire, promote, and accelerate your quest for business excellence. Today's episode is how to generate 2 to 4% in the market. And we'll learn how to do that in just 7 minutes with Mark Yegge. Now, Mark is known as the wealth architect, and he's a lifelong learner, author, course creator, mentor, and fund manager. He's traded over $14 billion worth of securities using his experience and expertise. He's on a mission to change the way people invest. And along the way, he's garnered awards such as Small Business of the Year, the Florida 100, and the Inc. magazine Fast 500, recognizing the fastest growing companies in America. And personally, he was recognized as a finalist by Deloitte as Entrepreneur of the Year. Mark, great to have you here, sir.
Well, thanks, Greg. Glad to be here, Bill.
So, my man, who's your ideal client?
Well, we mostly deal with people who are 7- and 8-figure investors, and we help them play offense and defense. Mostly, we really like to stress how to create reliable income from the stock market. And it's people that usually have a minimum of $100,000 of money laying around that they want to invest and start doing something a little bit more appealing than just throwing it at a money manager, but something that they can learn and be excited about, but really something that has a solid, reliable income base for them.
So these people that you just described, Mark, I imagine have at least one problem in common. So what's that principal problem they have, and you solve it for them?
Well, I think it's programming that comes from Wall Street. It's programming that comes from the lack of knowledge that we get from our school system. And I think it revolves around the tendency toward mediocrity. Like, I don't know about you, Bill, I have a feeling I do, but I don't wake up in the morning and go, oh, I want to be average today. I want to be excellent. And, the Wall Street programming and the program we get from our society is, shoot for average, get that 9% a year from the stock market, go into an S&P 500 index fund and be involved in 500 stocks because you want to diversify. And that's just not the way to be excellent. It's the way to be average or less than average. And that's what tends to happen in the market and when people invest in it.
So shifting over to the right brain for a moment, what sort of feelings, emotions, symptoms are going on in our listeners, Mark, that might give them a signal they're in a jam and they should be talking to you?
Well, I mean, we're not for everybody, certainly, but if you're someone who is not doing well in the market, and in the last couple of years, it's been easy to throw a dart at the Wall Street Journal and hit the stock right, but it's what happens during those downtimes. Like, we're experiencing some downtimes right now, and most people aren't prepared for those down fluctuations, and they think, and this is another issue that people have, is they over diversify. They think that over diversification is going to protect them. And what happens is when you have big collapses and big money movement out of assets, it happens to all the assets. So you're seeing that happen in a lot of different places. So our system basically helps them create a way to smooth out that ride along the way.
So you've identified at least one, but what are some of the other common problems, Mark, you see are typical investor making, the people listening to us right now? What mistakes do they make?
I would say, so I have a saying, Bill, it's never give up your power in your health, your wealth, or your time. And so often, especially lately, we've noticed that a lot of people have really given up their own personal choices when it comes to their health, for sure, right? Yeah. But people do it with their wealth. You see it happen with football players and wealthy people that trust somebody that they grew up with, or a lot of us trust salespeople that make us seem like they're financial planners. And a lot of it is they just give up their power. And because we aren't taught about money, and I don't know about you, but I use money every day. We're not taught about it in the school system. Unfortunately, we believe more people have power than we do in our own money. And so that leads to the second issue that I think people have is they don't have a system. In anything you want to do, whether you want to be a good golfer or a marksman, or you want to learn how to do archery, you want to learn how to sew, you've got to figure out the system that they use, right? If you want to get a repeatable result, you've got to learn that there's variables that lead to a repeatable result. And that's what happens is most people don't have a system, and a system is made up of rules and guidelines that you need to follow in order to get that result. And then finally, the third part is, like I mentioned a minute ago, it's that over diversification. They heard somewhere that if you diversify, you're going to be fine. You'll just get an average return, right? But I believe in diversifying among assets, but concentrating within them. For example, if you want to be a real estate investor, don't own single family homes, strip malls, self-storages, and car washes. Be really good at, duplexes, and then you can become the expert and you can get excellent results in that. So I think people make a mistake by not having a system, over diversifying, and then by and large wrapping that in giving up their power in their investments and their money.
So Mark, tell us one single action that people could take. It's free for them to take it. All they have to know is what is that action that our listeners could take that would make a big difference to them right now.
Well, I would say getting educated. I mean, that's probably the answer that's easiest to say for anything, but especially in your money, right? Get educated. It's not that difficult. If you give up a couple of hours a week of Netflix watching or something and just dedicate it to the most important thing that's happening in your life, and that's money, getting educated and taking control of your financial life, to me, is the most valuable thing that you can be doing.
So Mark, I've had a chance to look at your website. I know that you're a fruitful person. So tell us about the free gift that you've got teed up for our listeners. And then where would they go on your website to get their hands on it, Mark?
Well, I want to give everybody an opportunity to take a look at an ebook that we've written called Regular Paychecks. It's basically how you can take regular paychecks out of the market, because so many people are interested in passive income, or that income that you get, when you call it sleep money, some people call it, but people don't know exactly how to do it. We've created a way to get it from the stock market. We take advantage of the people that are gamblers on the other side of the trade, and we let them pay us for the gamble they want to make. So you can go to go.destinycreation.com. So it's go.destinycreation.com/SBS for the name of your show, right?
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mark, look, I told you I'd ask you 7 questions in 7 minutes, but I only had 6. And so what question were you waiting for me to ask? And what's the answer to that 7th question, Mark?
I think it was based, you called this the title, How to Make 2 to 4% in the Market. We didn't
there you go. Yeah.
So there is a way that we teach investors how to target 2 to 4% from the market. And we do that by letting them create income from the stocks they own, or the stocks that they want to own. Now, it's not just any stock. It's the really good ones, the big capitalized ones, the ones that are going to be around, that you can use to create income into a portfolio. And you can kind of predict and dial in the amount of income and risk that you want to have. And we like to start people off shooting for 2 to 4% a month. That's our target. We frequently overshoot it. Doesn't happen every month either, but that's generally what we like to do for that. And people always ask me, can you get that in up markets and down markets? Well, in down markets, we have people this month that the market's down, almost 20%, and they're up 7% this month. So we have a way of dialing it in for whatever suits your personality to be able to create income from the stock market. And when you do that, you also play defense, and that creates that safe, reliable income we always tell people about.
Yeah, I love some of your comments about offense and defense. I love the 2 to 4%. I love the word monthly. I love when you said regular paychecks. That's all fantastic. Thanks for sharing your time with us, Mark.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Hey, now everybody look. Let's focus on the single fact, and that is that our businesses do not become extraordinary in a single moment. Instead, they get the result of the owner first learning and then applying a proven combination of having the right mindset, of a dedication to a system of management, and number 3, leveraging high performance teams within your organization and outside, like Mark right here in front of you now. So Mark, thanks for being with us. Everybody else, thanks for listening. Enjoyed having you on the show.
Thank you.